Well, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Kristen.
I'm Courtney. We do have some animals with us today. I don't think you see them on camera, but you might hear them. We got Miller here, my dog, and then we have Ingrid von Schmeowtzer, a cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to explain that. They don't need to know.
I'm hoping she's like, okay.
She does look very angry.
Yeah.
Oh, and okay.
Oh, right, Miller. Miller is obsessed with her, but also a little bit
Don't
scared.
smell her butt on camera. That's inappropriate.
You might be able to hear her purring. I hope
Okay. Enough with the butthole smelling.
Okay, what did we talk about on our episode?
Okay, settle down, sir.
I know we talked about astrology.
Okay.
Okay, Miller, go lay down. Come in. Ingrid is not impressed.
Okay. We talked about what it means to be triggered.
Yep.
We talked about...
We dug into Kristen's husband's astrology chart, which was a lot of fun. We're going to dig into more of like our own.
Yeah. And then we also talked about
nice.
our own beliefs about numerology. Come on, we are an explicit contest. Podcast.
Explicit, yeah. Yeah. I feel like we'll need to get into more of like Enneagram and
I'm
stuff
over the
too.
Enneagram for now. If anyone else brings it up, I'm gonna cut my eyes out.
I like it a lot. I really like Enneagram. I think it's because I really like what my number says about
Nobody
me.
talks about my number, and that's why I'm upset. Stop!
I don't know, I like it. I think I just, I like what, I'm a number 7, and I like what it says.
I'm a number 4. That's all I can tell you. I think
you were a 4.
I was looking for the Enneagram book, but I seem to have misplaced it.
Yeah. Have you ever done that where you just, like, jump time? It's jumping timeline. Or is it collapsing timelines?
Clapping timelines.
It's collapsing.
Collapsing?
Yeah, collapsing, or is it jumping timelines?
It's clapping. Anyways.
No, is it both? Can you say either or?
Either or.
I knew you were going to do that. As soon as I said that, she's gonna say it.
When are we going to tell David about the podcast that we literally bring him up on every
I
episode?
think we should wait until he hears about it. Be so funny.
Yeah.
If he's like, wait a minute, these people look familiar. Or someone brings it up, they're like, have you heard this podcast? It's so funny.
I feel like that's not gonna show up in his reality because the friends he has are so different from like our group of people.
Yeah, that's true.
Like not really the spiritual
Yeah.
whoop whoop people.
The whoop whoop.
Woohoo! I got a toy for the dogs that's a Nemo fish and it says a bunch of different things. It's adorable.
Yeah, it says like sentences from the movie
And
stuff.
woohoo!
It's one
And
of them.
it's actually a kid's toy, but
Miller loves it. It's his favorite toy.
except he chewed all its fins off. So it's
No,
just
I
a
can't
orange
swim.
blob.
Kind of like in the movie.
But I was gonna say, did he have trouble swimming in the movie?
Oh, Miller farted.
And now he's panting. So let's get into the episode.
This is yeah. We'll try this with Ollie next time, her dog.
He'll just lay because he's chill.
Yeah. Miller's like walking around, smelling butts, farting, and
We should have Schmeowburger on.
Shmee was adorable.
That's Ingrid.
Ingrid
von Schmeowtzer's sister.
Schmeowberger. She's French. Yeah, I thought this episode flew by. I didn't realize we had recorded, it was like 40 minutes or something. I didn't realize we had recorded that long. It felt like 20 minutes. But it flew by.
We didn't do the prayer again.
Oh my god. It's okay. We'll be okay.
We're actually okay now. We don't always need.
I think we've done it so many times, like doing a prayer before, just to like help us.
Get in the zone.
Yeah.
Auto zone.
Be channel like the best information. We're just channeling all the time, guys. We don't know what we're saying, so don't ask us about it. This is why we can never remember. Yeah, but I feel like we've done it so many times where it's like we're automatically open to that when we start. That's what I like to say.
All right, well, enjoy this episode. If you like it, keep it to yourself, please. We're not ready for this.
Yeah, we want a very, very, very gradual, I don't know what the word is.
Succession.
Yeah, sure.
We had 30 downloads. That's a lot.
Yeah, we were
like, oh my gosh,
by that.
Not ready for that. Stop
Well,
it.
I think half of them were me, but still.
I did subscribe today. Just now.
You finally subscribed to our podcast?
I did.
I feel like so many people we've told to listen, they've like listened to an episode, but they're like, have not subscribed.
I feel like I haven't really told anyone to listen.
The few people that we've told, I don't think they have subscribed. Do people do that a lot? Like, do you subscribe to podcasts?
I think I'm subscribed to a few, like 6.
Okay, so I am, but like, do some people just go on and like just search for it and then, like, does Greg subscribe?
So if you're not on Apple Podcasts, how it works is if you don't subscribe, it won't show you, like, if you've already listened to an episode, it won't show you that you've already listened to it. Whereas if you're subscribed, it'll show you the ones you've listened to. If you're halfway into one, it will leave you at that spot. Whereas if you're not subscribed, then I don't know, eventually it just doesn't show that you've listened to any of it.
Kind of sets it back.
Yeah, I think. I'm pretty sure, but I'm not 100%.
With Podbean, I know I've listened to a lot of like older episodes for a podcast, and it'll say it's been played for a bit, and then it doesn't show anymore.
So maybe if you subscribed it.
No, that is subscribed.
Well, that's bullshit.
It's Podbean for you. Anyways, I'm done.
We rate them 1 bean in a pod. Just kidding.
Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. Yeah.
Toodles to the poodles.
We haven't showered in 5 days, manifested anyway. Every day's a payday. Wait, what the fuck did Kris just say? Messy's in the hole, I bet. Come hang out with our furry friends. Courtney's gonna leave again. Are you triggered yet?
We have been triggering people.
Oh my god. I've been triggered. Something about this past week, or maybe like the last 2 weeks, I've been triggered lately.
I was triggered when I triggered somebody.
What do you mean? Oh, like how they reacted triggered you?
Yeah, but only like for a moment. And then I got my head out of my ass. Found it, wiped off the shit, and carried on.
Lesson for the day, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you clean behind the ears.
So I think we should talk about what it means to be triggered.
Okay. Well, for me, I can get really... Well, no, not for me. I guess I've seen people get super defensive when they've gotten triggered, like denying the other person's experience or story or whatever. Like, oh, like maybe let's say they're jealous of them, and then they're like, oh, well, I forget what I was gonna say.
Take a shot, guys.
Oh, right. Yeah, our drinking game. Every time I lose my train of thought. And now I feel like it's going to happen more.
Why?
Because of...
We're manifesting
I
it.
was just going to say that. Yeah.
She's reading my mind.
No, so like let's say you're jealous of someone and then you're like, oh, they just got that or they just did this because, you know, they had this privilege or because, you know...
Mommy and
daddy's money. Like, things like that, where it's like, oh, like, it's just, they only got that because of that. Like, who cares, first of all, how someone got something or the reason why. But, like, if we're triggered, sometimes we get defensive about it. And then, For me, though, I get, like, I just go into a shell. I just was like, oh my god, I need to go, like, hide in my room from everybody. Or I need to run away.
I just pictured you as a turtle.
Yeah, that's fine. Or, like, yeah, like, well, I want to run away. I'm like, ugh, just gonna, like,
Pack my bags.
pack my bags and leave. Yeah.
I used to do that when I was a kid. Except I didn't go anywhere. I just pretended. I packed my little suitcase.
Well, yeah, we'd always fight as siblings, and then
I feel
like you
we didn't
and-
really though.
I remember so many instances where
I was really, 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 really mad.
when I couldn't whistle, and then I did. Reference to episode 2, audio version. No, I remember you and like Dave, our brother, fighting all the time, and then I was like, oh my god, like one of them's gonna run away, and then like I just was terrified one of you would run away.
Did I block this out of my memory? Because I don't remember us really ever fighting.
Maybe you didn't fight that much. I just thought maybe it was just like traumatic to me because I don't like conflict at all.
Neither
So
do
like
I.
whenever there was fighting, I would just be like, I would just get like so like, I hated it. I hate it now when people are fighting or when someone's angry.
I'm just like, I just disappear.
Yeah, like that's we should be able to not let it affect our feelings when someone else is upset or angry.
I just don't like being around people who are angry. They're so unpredictable.
Yeah. Me too. And then you say something or, oh, I'm sorry.
And just tiptoe around.
So what do you do when you're triggered? She doesn't get triggered. She's too good for us.
Literally
Go
just
start
said,
another podcast.
Okay. I'm taking the name. And the intro song. And Messy.
And the dogs.
Yeah.
You can take the song.
What?
I have rights to that.
To the what?
To the song, intro song.
Okay. Well, I'll just copy it. I'll just play.
Change a couple words.
I don't know what I do when I get triggered. It happens less and less, though. I do know. I find that when I'm triggered, I get upset. It bothers me, so I'm reacting to it. So I don't usually get mad, but I will get upset, and yeah.
But do you do anything to try to get rid of that feeling?
Now that I know that, as soon as I learned that when you're triggered, it's something within yourself. I think the first time I ever heard about this was listening to Sahara Rose on the Highest Self podcast. And she was talking about, I don't think she used the word triggered, but just if you had emotions come up when you're, say, she used, for example, why can't I think of the word? When you shake your butt.
Twerk?
Yeah, she twerks, and it's actually really, really good for your root chakra to release emotions and trauma from that center. And she will post videos on her Instagram of her twerking, and because she's spiritual, she has in the past had people comment negative things saying like, oh, I honestly don't know, and I don't care, but I can understand that maybe those people, what she said was that maybe they were jealous or not confident in themselves, that they wish that they could do something like that and put themselves out like that, but they are too scared to, or they lack the confidence, so then they turn that into
criticism.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they project that onto her. You shouldn't be doing that. You're not spiritual.
Yeah.
I remember something about that because I followed her on Instagram or something. And I remember she would post twerking videos about that. Mm-hmm. But good for her, just keep going with it and
I wish
showing.
I could twerk.
Oh my god, I'm embarrassing if I try to twerk. It's horrible. But I've had it where if what you're saying about the confidence thing, so I have been more of a soft-spoken person, and so when people are right out there and just say what they're thinking, I'm like, whoa, ooh, ugh. But then I can get kind of mad at them, but I'm like, no, I'm jealous. I want to be able to say what I'm thinking and be able to just you know, let it out there. Like, that's amazing to be able to, like, express yourself so confidently, and especially if it's a controversial topic, like, that's huge. So, like,
Great.
Yeah, her husband is great at that. But it's so good to have those people in your life that do trigger you in that way, so you're like, right, like, I can do this too. And I think if it's coming into her conscious, then, you know, like, it's a way of the universe letting us know that, you know, we can do it as well. We can have that. If we want it, we can have it.
I believe that. And I think having Greg, who speaks his mind and says anything he wants to about any topic, he's not scared. And it has really helped me grow. Even just being around him doing that, it's helped me, because I'm like, I don't like confrontation. I don't like when topics get really controversial. I'm just like, let's not go there, but he goes there.
Oh, no. He's the first one there.
Yeah.
But I think that's really good. We probably need more people like that. And he's one of those people that's like, let's listen to all sides of it. Like, he's really interested in
he's so open-minded
perspectives, which is really nice. He's not just like, this is the way it is. And he's super respectful of people's opinions too, or like their decisions for their own life, which is like, you know, he really believes in certain things, but he's also like, but if that's your choice, that's your choice. Like, we need more people like that. Exactly, we do.
But yeah, when I find myself triggered, I'm like, well, why is that bothering me? And what is it underneath? Like, where is this coming from? And it's always a limiting belief or an insecurity. Yeah, self-worth thing.
I think that's so powerful, being able to, in that moment, be like, all right, let's dig into this. Like, it's such an uncomfortable feeling when you're triggered. Like, that's what I did today, and, you know, you always think oh, this is why I'm triggered. And then you're like, no, let's sit with it. Like, let's really dig into it. And I'd say it's courageous. Like, sometimes there's been times where I do feel like things have been a little bit too hard, so I give it space until I felt like I was ready to deal with it. But sometimes I'm like, I don't want to sit with this forever. Like, let's just deal with it now. Like, let's dig into it, see what's at the core of it, and then instantly, as soon as you have that awareness, it's gone. So, like, today I won't, like... Well, sometimes you have to work through it a bit more. But I think awareness can do a lot in just shifting it.
I do believe that.
Maybe it's different on, like, the beliefs that are behind it, maybe. Like, for me, like, I was triggered today, and I went into it, and I came up with a different answer, like, a different reason of why I was triggered, and I thought it was one thing, and it ended up being deeper than that, and it was just, like, becoming aware of that. I'm like, oh, it's not even about these other people. It's not even about them and their lives. It's about me and my experience and my perspective. So just even recognizing that there is a different perspective just changed everything for me. Awesome. Awesome possum. And we're done. No, but yeah, we should talk about how when you trigger people sometimes, you know, you get reactions that are painful.
Or you get reactions where you're like, and they're like upset and they expect that because they're upset, you'll get upset too. And it's just like, you can't, because you're just like, I can see that this is triggering you and that it's something you need to work through. It's nothing to do with me. But then when when you put that responsibility on them and tell them, like, most times it's just like, okay, I'm not going to go there, not going to tell you because you...
No, it's like, there's been so many times over, like, once I've been learning about, like, manifestation and everything, I was like, I just want to tell people, like, you know, the way it is, like, you're being triggered right now, like, there's something beneath that. It's not even about what we're fighting about, like, there's something more, but you can't, because not everyone can take that. A lot of people will just get mad at you.
Or when they're saying things that are so negative that draw in different situations.
Like, daily things, like, things... Like, they're just negative constantly, or just, like, in that moment when they're triggered?
Oh, no.
Some people just are always saying things like, oh, I have the worst luck.
Oh, yeah.
Or, yeah. But I can read the room and I know. I feel like I'm pretty good at judging when someone is open to hearing me say, how about use a different term?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
How about you just shut up? Yeah, that sounds great. No, I... oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think there's definitely been times where I'm like, kind of feel like they're not really open for it, but I feel like I have responsibility to say this right now. But then sometimes people are like, yeah, I see what you mean, and then they just completely, like, let it go, and it's like, they don't really take it in.
Or I'll just, like, say it if I have to, like, it's an urge that I can't, I'm just like, I just, like, mumble it, and they're like, what? I'm like, nothing.
Definitely.
Or I'll just, like, mumble it a little bit louder so they know. When I do that, I'm like, I'm really hesitant to tell them. That's why I'm saying it so pathetically. And then, if I do it that way, usually they don't freak out or get upset that I said it.
Yeah, that brings another topic of, like, making ourselves more digestible.
Yeah. I don't want someone to eat me.
I don't know what to say to that.
Okay. Wow. And with that, we bid you a good night. As we are in bed. In Barcelona! Just kidding.
I want to go there.
I'm going to Fiji.
I don't want to get on this topic. It triggers me. That was honestly one of my biggest triggers, is travel. It honestly still gets to me. So, I can tell when I trigger someone about, like, travel. They get, like, well, not everyone, but sometimes people get, like, super quiet, and I'm like, I'm sorry, did I just trigger you? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, here's more pictures of my trip. No, I totally get it.
I feel like we trigger people a lot just with our presence.
I don't give that many gifts. I'm sorry.
We give the gift of triggering.
The gift of our presence. I don't like that thought. I mean, it's probably good that we do, but
it's not good if no one is willing to realize that if you're triggered, that's on you. Boo.
That's true, because then everyone just gets mad at them.
And, like, most of the time, I don't really care.
Yeah. I feel like I think it's my mood, because I've definitely had times where I'm like, I don't give a shit what people think, and then, like, one little thing happens, and I'm the one that's triggered. I feel like I'm starting over, but I'm so much better. Like, I remember, I don't know if I mentioned this in my one journal. It was, like, from I don't even know, like, before I met my ex. It was, like, maybe, like, 2010 or something. I wrote in there, and I was like, I don't care what anybody thinks anymore. And I'm like, reading it now, I'm like, oh my god. I still care sometimes. I was so far away from not caring. Just had one of those moments. It didn't last long, I'm sure.
Hey, well, you were just trying to...
I was calling it in.
Yeah.
I was manifesting it.
Yeah. So, if you're triggered, please leave.
Don't tell your friends. Actually, tell all your friends.
Yeah.
It's so hard when you care what people think, because I feel like I'm a very, like, also being, like, empathic, too, so you can, when someone says, like, does something, and you feel it, too, you feel their emotions, like, if you trigger someone, you feel their emotions, it's, like, also being in that position where it's, like, I've been there, too, like, I totally get it, and it sucks, but I don't want to feel it again. I gotta put that bubble up with that mirror.
I do. We are going to be doing a podcast in the future where we're going to talk about some triggering topics, because I just need to...
What topics are these?
Triggering ones.
That's not helpful.
I know.
Is this from the podcast?
Maybe. I don't know.
They listened to a podcast the other day, and they wouldn't send it to me because of my state of mind at that time. I wasn't in the greatest place, and they're like, we're not going to send you this right now.
Actually, so I didn't even I told you I was going to send it, and then I just didn't.
Yeah, well, you told me after. So it was probably a good thing, because I would have listened to it ahead of time. I was going to actually listen to it, but that probably wasn't a great place.
And literally, I just listened with an open mind. But this guy just not questions. He literally just throws everything I believe into the toilet and fucking flushed it. And it was
so hard.
It was interesting, but honestly, you know what it's done for me is now I feel like there was a few different podcasts we've been listening to, and all these people have such a different perspective and different beliefs, and that's great, and I love what it's done is it's expanded my mind, and now what I'm believing, I'm standing strong in what I believe, and it's something that I'm not believing because I listened to this. It's because I'm believing it because I've listened to all these different perspectives, and I'm choosing the ones that resonate with me the best, the ones that make sense to me and that I want to live by. And
maybe the ones that you've also, like, personally experienced.
Yes, because exactly.
Because if, like, someone's going to say, like, this manifestation stuff, like,
numbers are just numbers.
Well, it's like, did you see that? I
have that thought sometimes.
Yeah, I do, but I think it's empowering to, like, think that the numbers do mean something, because it's like, if you believe that, you know, an angel number, like, triples of numbers, or even some people say doubles of numbers, like, if you think that an angel number is the universe showing you that you're guided, and it empowers you, and it helps you move forward with your life,
how is that a bad thing? How is that a bad thing?
Exactly. Why do we need to tear that down? Like, if he doesn't want to believe that, that's totally fair. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm just seeing them all because I'm looking for them. Like, once you think about it, then you're seeing things a lot. So it's like, am I just? Yeah. But it's like, who cares? Because does it make me feel good? Does it be like, right, like, I am supported, like, I do have everything I need, like, I can move forward. I don't necessarily see them as, like, oh, this number means money's coming. Like, yeah.
I honestly have no idea what any of the angel numbers mean.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is my money number, because it's, like, resonated with me at a certain time in my life when it was, like, a certain experience around money or something, and it would come up. So, like, that sometimes, but I also was like, sometimes it's just nice, and I like to think of it as, you know, I'm just supported, and
I just like seeing three numbers beside each other. It's cool.
It's very nice. It's very pleasing to the eyes.
I agree. And also, if he's saying that numbers are just numbers, is he totally saying that numerology isn't a thing? Because I know that governments and stuff will plan things on, like, master number days.
I know nothing about numerology, and honestly, when I first heard of it, I was like, a little skeptical. Skeptical.
I was skeptical too. But I've been more drawn to it lately. And that's all I can say. That's all I know, guys. I know master numbers are 11, 22, and 33. I don't know my life path number. I know that there is a life path number.
I used to know. My friend had a numerology book, and I was kind of reading it, but it just didn't really. I think I was doing so many other things at the time, and, like, I'm really into, like, astrology right now, so sometimes it's just like, if I kind of lose my focus on one, I'll go to another, but, like, because that's what happened, like, from human design to astrology and stuff, but I don't know, maybe I'll get into it someday, but not right now. I got enough stuff going on.
Speaking of astrology, should we peek?
Could do that. We have her husband's birth chart. Bear with me.
I also think podcasting in bed was kind of a shitty idea.
Why?
Because I just want to go to sleep.
It's like
tired.
5:30.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
What do we have here?
He is a sun in Leo. a Leo rising, and a moon in Aries.
Triple fire. Ooh, excuse me. The podcast I was listening to yesterday, the guy was triple Leo. How is that even possible?
I don't think we'd get along. Honestly, I've had.
You can be
so
a triple?
judgmental.
Yeah. How?
What do you mean? Like, let's just say the moon was over in Leo that time. Then he would have been triple.
That seems shady.
The moon goes, like, every 2.5 days or whatever through a sign. It's really quick. I tried to look up to see if there was any, like, combinations that did not exist, but I don't think there is. I think you can have any. I think some are more rare, but it was, like...
Ooh, I want to know what ones are the rarest.
It was harder to... I don't know. It was really weird. It's funny. They were saying something about, like, Virgo risings. I don't know. But it was, like... I'm like, I have 2 friends that have, like, that placement they had mentioned. I'm like, So it's funny, like, yeah, he has 3... His main 3 are fire, but then his North Node is also a fire in Sag.
That makes so much sense. Does it?
I think it does.
I'm just saying that I don't know.
I think... So, Sag, I don't know. I feel like there's so many different characteristics for North Nodes. This is one thing I need to look at. Is, there's different areas, like, a sign can go. Like, Sages are students, but they're also teachers. But it's also maybe a thing about, like, a lesson about freedom. And I don't know. There's, like, so many different aspects. So I don't know if the lesson he's needing to learn is about teaching. Or if it's about, like, finding freedom in his life. But I feel like for him it's the leading thing. Because he has... I feel like he has that drive to share his knowledge. And he, plus, like, he just, like, happens to know, like, so many other people's personal experiences. So, like, not only his experiences, but others. So he can, like, derive meanings from that. But, like, that's one thing. He's a projector.
Yeah.
So he has to wait for the invitation for human design. So I feel like that's maybe a way... has something to do with this as well, where maybe he's got to find the most effective way to lead or mentor or guide or whatever that works for him. And it's also interesting that's in his 4th house, which is like of home and family. So maybe it's a more like, it's not about teaching the masses, but maybe teaching more so like the people directly in his life, people he considers his family. But I also think he has connections with so many people that I don't know. But also Sag in his 4th house makes a lot of sense because he would totally sell the house and just travel around in the motorhome.
Yeah, except the
Bonnie.
In Bonnie. Yeah, but no. If he wants to do that, we can get something that's not ancient. That doesn't sound like a school bus rattling and like it's gonna fall apart in 2. And if a slight gust of wind hits you, it feels like it's gonna topple over. It's not fun to drive, especially after a long weekend at a truck show.
Yeah, this is his Mercury is also in Leo.
Oh my gosh.
That's so accurate. Like, expressing himself through, you know, verbal or like written communication, anything like his voice. Wow, that's so interesting. There are a lot of aspects though. There's a lot of like challenging aspects. I don't know what they all are right now, but that's a lot.
That's okay.
There's a lot digging into this.
Does he have anything in Gemini?
No, his 10th house, so his 11th house is ruled by Gemini, which is like network and like society and things like that. So he probably has like a lot of different interests regarding like the society's systems and stuff like that, I would say. Helps that I know him. But like he has a lot of different areas that he's interested in. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm struggling with my words. But and also Gemini is also in the 10th house. 10th house of communication. Ooh, and then Taurus rules the 10th house, which is more of like a grounded energy, but like taking all those grand ideas that he has, and like I wonder if that's similar to Virgo, because Virgo's like, I can break things down for you and show you how things are and like make things work better, but like also breaking things down into easy to understand steps, making things digestible. But I'm wondering if like the mix of Gemini and Taurus together would be something like that, like if he's communicating but he has that Taurus energy. I don't know, but it's very somewhat interesting. And his Venus is in Cancer. And you're Cancer. No, you're not. You're Cancer rising in sidereal.
My Cancer isn't my North Node.
Your North Node is in Capricorn. So the Cancer qualities that's your South Node. So those would be like very something you'd be very comfortable with. So that would be very much in your personality too. Oh, I never really drew that conclusion. That's very interesting. Yeah, but Moon in Aries. Aries can be temperamental.
That moose tracks.
But it's also like on the cusp.
I said that moose tracks.
Yeah, I know. I heard you.
You didn't even laugh. It was the first time I've said it on the podcast.
Well, you've said it a lot outside of the podcast. It's
So
just
have
kind
you.
of like
It's not funny anymore, I guess.
it's not.
Fine.
It's fun to say.
We'll cut that part out since it's embarrassing.
Just edit
I'm
all of-
triggered now.
I'm just gonna edit everything you said out.
I have to pee.
Just kidding. Seriously? I'm so confused. Are you mocking me?
No! Why would I be mocking you? Because I said I have to pee.
Yeah, because all the times I laughed and was gonna pee myself.
Oh.
Yeah. Moon. So his moon is on the cusp of Pisces, which is like a very intuitive. Pisces are so interesting. I don't know how this would play out in the moon, but like, do you think he's affected by other people's emotions? Like, say if you were upset. Okay. I mean, so Aries is much more about self, but like Pisces is very much about the other, and like they're so empathic, but like Pisces find it hard. They don't naturally have like healthy boundaries or like any boundaries. I don't really have much Pisces in mine, but like I don't have any strong Pisces placements in my chart, but like this is what I've been told. So yeah, like Pisces, like they struggle with the boundaries. And the fact that his moon is so close to Pisces, he'd probably get a little bit of that, like trying to create emotional boundaries would be like not a natural thing for him. Wouldn't be innate.
Wow.
Anything else you'd like to know?
No, that was pretty much it. I knew he. I was curious about the other placements just because I see him as all fire. Very much.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if there was any different placements that mellowed him out at all, or if it was pretty much
think
like
the
this.
water signs are helping with the mellowing. Maybe a little bit, but like water signs can also be sensitive.
Yeah.
But then he also has like he has his Mars in Virgo, which I think is a great placement because like Mars is the energy and like physical energy and like, you know, action, and then Virgo's earth signs are more feminine, but Virgo is more like, let's break these things down, like I said before. So I don't know. Take with that what you will. I feel like I think it's a really good placement.
I feel like it would be
hard to
rude to
explain.
say that's a shitty placement.
Honestly, I've never said that. I said like some things might be a little bit more of a struggle, but I think
that sucks for you.
I'm so sorry. No, but I think every placement is so like every time there's something that is challenging, it's so beautiful because it's like if we're able to learn the lesson and overcome that challenge that brings, like, that is, like, huge.
Well, and being able to look and see where you're naturally gonna succeed easily and where you are going to have challenges is so beneficial.
Yeah. I feel like I struggle with liking my own chart. I like everyone else's more than I like mine.
I like my chart.
Yeah. It's because you have a Leo. Oh, no, Leos are so good at seeing, like, their own natural passion. Natural passions and talents. Like, you're so, like, it's not a bad thing. Like, Leos are just, like, it's fantastic, and they just want everyone else to see that, too, in theirs. Like, I wrote this thing, was, like, Leos, like, see themselves, like, they understand that their life is about them, not in a selfish way, like, being able to live your life, and then you just want, like, other people to understand that they're also... Like, it's that main character energy. Like, they want other people to understand, like, they're in control of their lives. So you're in control of yours. And you
want to empower people.
Yeah, exactly. You want them to, like, fulfill their potential. And it's like...
I see that so much with Greg.
Yeah.
And he does it. It's interesting. He attracts people who he is trying to lead. And, yeah. It's hard to find people to look up to and to go where you want to go when... I'm not going to finish that thought.
I see what you mean, because if you're, like... I find it difficult in my own life finding people to look up to. Like, not in a... It sounds horrible. There's so many people like, that I absolutely love, but it's, like... Not everyone is living the life that I want to live, and the way I want to live is kind of, I don't know, it's unique, I guess, for around here anyways. So it's harder for me, but if it's like, not everyone is like standing up in their own confidence, so if you are, but you want someone to look up to, you have to search for that. It's probably harder to find that. Is that what you mean? Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of what I figured. It's so funny because I'm like, Leos are fantastic, but I can't date them. So I had some bad experiences with Leos. I hope they're not listening.
What about a Leo rising?
I'm not sure what their rising sign was.
No, I mean, but like, would you date someone with a Leo rising?
I guess it depends on their other placements.
Let me see your chart before we go any further.
No, see, I don't like doing that. I don't like
She's
analyzing.
triggered.
I don't like analyzing it because I will. If I look at a chart, I'm like, oh, I don't know if these will work. But it's like, I don't want to do that. I want to just be in the moment and like see that person. And maybe
there's a lesson within that relationship that you need to learn before you actually call in the person you're supposed to be with.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I want to see the person where they're at. Maybe they're not even living at their, where they are with their chart. But I mean, obviously, this is like the
How would you say that you know you're living as like naturally in your chart? I don't know. I'm basically trying to say how they say it in like human design. You're not living by your design. Like, how do you know you're living by your design in astrology?
That's a good question.
If you don't know the answer, that's fine.
I want to talk about it. Like, I don't think I necessarily know, but sometimes when you talk about it, like answers like come up.
Oh my gosh, we forgot to say our prayer.
Oh my god, it's still recording. Every time we forget to say our prayer, it stops recording or like something happens.
Or we just are completely dumb.
Yeah. I feel like I'm already there. Maybe we're just in such a good place.
I feel like I was pretty dumb today.
Like, during this?
Yeah, I really have to pee, so it's uncomfortable.
Do you want to pause?
No.
Do you want to be done?
Maybe. We can do an intro.
Can we just talk about this super quick?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Are you going to pee yourself?
I might pee the bed.
Well, at least I'm over here.
At least that's Greg's side. Wait, let's trade spots. Just kidding, guys. I'm not that gross.
I think... it's so hard. I think if you're I think it comes down to patterns. Astrology is very much about patterns. You don't even necessarily have to know like all the transits that are going on. I think if you're just open to like building a relationship with your intuition and like feeling what comes up and understanding that like there's times where, you know, your energies will be different and like different things are gonna come up at different times. Like understanding that the transits will affect you, but not necessarily knowing like what they are. I don't think you have to even go into like, oh, let me see what's coming. Like I don't even think you need to do like the whole prediction thing.
I don't even care.
I think it's just being open to what is going on within yourself and like recognizing when there is a challenge. And I don't know, sometimes you can use your chart to like help you overcome a challenge, but awareness is the big thing I'm thinking of right now. Just like being aware of yourself and where you are in your life and like bringing awareness to those patterns that keep showing up in your life, because that's often what this shows is patterns or like things that we will revert to, like our innate or like our normal reactions. But yeah, honestly,
I have more questions, but I'm gonna save them for another time because but yeah, I do have some questions about that.
Does this make sense? Does that make sense what I answered?
No, it makes sense, but I want to I want to ask a question about my patterns. Like I'm gonna get real vulnerable.
We'll do an episode where we talk about our own charts, like together. We'll do episode like in one episode,
and I'm gonna talk about my patterns, and they're not crochet patterns because I don't know how to
plaid.
I don't know how to crochet.
Okay, well, you gotta go pee.
I do know how to macrame though. I already said that on the podcast.
Don't mean to brag, but I know how to macrame.
Macrame.
Macaroni. Anyways, okay, well.
And with that,
thank you.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for telling all your friends and family.
But if you didn't, that's okay too.
Please rate us the worst rating you can give us.
We want to be the worst rated podcast around. They should have that like the rating of like the worst rated.
Rotten bean pod.
Yeah.
Why can't you rate an amount of beans in a pod for Podbean?
That'd be so good.
I'm very disappointed in whoever designed that app or podcast hosting program.
I'm not saying it.
I'm not saying it.
They should, yeah, you know what? Just comment how many beans in a pod would you give us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
How many beans are in a pod? At least 4, guys. Maybe 5.
Let's pretend that there's normally 5. And how many would you give us at a 5? Since it's like normally 5-star.
Is it 5-star?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was 4.
4-star hotels. Hey, how come
we are at a
5-star?
Hotel. What?
How come they don't have 5 stars? Unless they're rated 4 out of 5. No, I don't know.
Now you're confusing me, and I really don't care.
Okay, well, that's it. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.